welcome to SteamPunk. This is your host, SteamPunk Bob, and this is the episode where The Binding of Isaac proves I'm a horrible person. Okay, so The Binding of Isaac is heavily roguelike inspired. Here's the usual link to cover any questions about the basics of roguelikes. Now that you're up to speed, I'd like to tell you what I suspect is the origin story of this game. It starts out as a romance story. A tale of forbidden love between Hotline Miami and The Legend of Zelda. Theirs was a storybook love, except for the part where, while the Binding of Isaac, their child, was still incredibly young, Zelda cheated with Hotline Miami's best friend, someone young Isaac called Uncle Roguelike. One day, Hotline Miami came home from his killing spree earlier than usual and caught Zelda and Roguelike in bed together. He snapped and killed both of them before killing himself, unaware that young Isaac was watching the whole time. The Binding of Isaac was in the house with the corpses for a full day before someone finally came by and saw what happened. After this incident, The Binding of Isaac was adopted by his aunt, a Ms. Atmospheric soundtrack. In case you're dumber than a bag of alcohol-soaked rocks, The Binding of Isaac is a somewhat dark game. On a completely unrelated note, Antarctica is a little chilly this time of year. You may want to bring a scarf or a light wrap. I guess you'd call it a story, but in a way it's more of a setting, is that Isaac is a young child, no more than 3 years old. His mother starts hearing the voice of God, which prompts her to take away everything from young Isaac, right down to seizing his evil toys and evil clothes and locking him in his room. Then she hears God demand Isaac as a human sacrifice, so she grabs a kitchen knife and heads towards Isaac's room. At the last moment, Isaac notices a trap door and dives into wherever it goes, and, well, it's roguelike inspired. Inevitably, he dies. He dies a lot. The actual gameplay has you using WASD to move Isaac, and the arrow keys to weaponize your tears. You search randomly generated floors, hoping to find power-ups to get tough enough to survive the inevitable terror of this hellish basement. This game is at its best if you're into really dark humor, or you're a psychopath. Preferably both. There's just something adorably twisted about a game where you can make a deal with the devil for a quarter, as in a 25-cent piece. You feel like you may have made the right choice. This game is not a true roguelike, but is heavily influenced by them. We have permadeath, random maps, and bang potions in the form of pills you find lying around and just toss into your mouth. But no, it's definitely an action game with RPG elements. The fiery gameplay flows reasonably well, but it does have an issue as far as it's possible to get no good items in a run, meaning that even if you make no real mistakes, the game becomes prohibitively difficult or impossible, and you will make the occasional mistake. Still, them's the breaks with this subgenre. 4 out of 5. Cole's story and setting are as close as there is to a weakness of this game. The game's story is intentionally self-contradicting and probably makes far more sense under mind-altering drugs. The entire setting is really dark and disgusting, and when you get to humor this dark and black, it's quite easy to have a case where someone finds the game too twisted to enjoy. As my patron said, I'd enjoy this game a lot more if it didn't look so unpleasant and gross. That's the weakness here. It intentionally drives people away. 4 out of 5. Steam, covering graphics and sound. The graphics are pretty good, the game has excellent performance, and the sound is incredibly atmospheric. A perfect 5 out of 5. Electric is fun and polish factor. This game, provided you're enough of a sick bastard to find it hilarious, and you don't mind dying repeatedly, is a ton of fun. I've played this game 417 hours as of writing my script, and I still open it up every once in a while just to challenge myself. 5 out of 5. The Binding of Isaac gets an 18 out of 20 from me, and provided you can stomach the dark humor, you should play it. Side note, this footage was gathered with the Wrath of the Lamb DLC pack, which irrevocably intertwines itself with your game, and is a highly recommendable expansion if you're the kind of person who should play this game at all. Anyway, this is SteamPunk Bastard, out.